I feel like I'm holding a daily Harbor Freight news conference. But anyway, we're going to talk about pricing today. Now, I did a video a few days ago talking about they were selling some wrenches, some ratcheting wrenches for $109, and then they came out at $149, and people were upset about it. And I did a video, saying that we didn't know for sure what was going on because a lot of people thought Harbor Freight pulled a bait and switch or whatever. Well, I did talk to Harbor Freight, and they did say that I was right. Yes, those tools weren't supposed to be sold, and no, the $109 wasn't supposed to be the price. So the price of the ratcheting wrenches are $149.99. Now, granted, as I said before, we have to wait and see for any promos or any coupons or anything because we don't know the final price or what they got in store. And the prices may shift a little. And even though I felt like it wasn't their fault, he still apologized and said that they were sorry, they dropped the ball, that whoever entered the prices in wrong did it by accident, that they had no intention of misleading you, misleading me, or misleading anybody. So I thought that was pretty big that they went ahead and accepted responsibility, even though, as I said, I really didn't feel like that they misled anybody, but they still wanted to say that they were sorry and that it was a mistake. And everybody makes mistakes. But they also told me that some of the other prices that he got were wrong as well, but there are minor adjustments that needed to be made, such as one of the ratchets were, I think, a couple dollars more. There are a couple things were off. Most things were right. The sockets were right, and the regular wrenches were right at $99, but there were a couple things that needed to be adjusted by a couple dollars. And I guess whenever they entered the prices into the computer, he said that, whoever did it either entered it wrong or they had fat fingers or whatever, and they entered the $109.99 in wrong. So the guy that got that got lucky. And as I said in that video, they didn't release that price. That was a tool that was sold when it wasn't supposed to be sold, and we assumed the price was going to be $109.99. And as I said, when you look at the difference between the $99.99 wrenches to the $109.99 ratcheting wrenches, I thought it was pretty close. I thought it might have been too close, and it was too close. But like I said, we haven't seen any promos or coupons, so we don't know the final price. Now, I'm going to cut through to some footage that I've already shot that was actually made when I made the wrench video, which is going to be coming out in the next couple days. But I was rambling in that video and it had to do with pricing, so I'm going to use that footage to help with this video, and then when that footage gets done, I'm going to come back. And if you're new here, I'm just going to recap a little bit. A couple weeks ago, I did some icon videos. I reached out to Harbor Freight and they didn't get back. Well, they did end up getting back to me after one of my videos. And I spoke to the quality assurance and product development head guy. And I also spoke to the icon team leader. And we had like a conference call. And I've actually had a couple of conference calls with them. And they've answered a lot of questions that you guys have had, that I have had. As I said, they've been trying hard with this icon brand. They're going above and beyond. If you look at your Snap-ons and everything, you reach out to them, they're not going to get back to you. Matter of fact, I did reach out to them and they didn't get back to me. But these guys are actually caring about what we think. They're caring about what I think. They're caring about what you think. They're caring about what everybody thinks. They want to try to make this product good. They want to make this product work. They want to make this product last. Now, this is something that's going to be a long-term investment for them because yeah, coming out the gate, they are going to sell a lot of tools. I guarantee that. But with that being said, to get into the market they're trying to get into, it's going to be a long process. But I believe they're in it for the long haul, and I believe they're doing a great job. And so far with the tools I've tested, I've been impressed with it. And I have a lot more to come. So if you're new here, consider subscribing below because I'm going to have all kinds of videos about Icon and all kinds of other videos coming up. And I guarantee you ain't going to want to miss it. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I upload because YouTube does not tell you when I upload a lot of times. So we're just going to talk about MSRP. The same goes with the Carlisle wrenches. There is a deal going on the Carlisle wrenches right now, but we're going to talk about MSRP on them because as I said, we don't know any promos on these, so we're not going to talk about how cheap you can get them. We're just going to talk about what they charge for on a day-to-day basis. So to start off with, there is the Snap-on set. It is a 10-piece flank drive set, and that comes in at standard price for the 10 pieces from sizes 10 to 19 in metric. comes in at $515. As we can see, Snap-on wrenches are expensive. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Snap-on wrenches. I think they're probably the best wrenches out there. But as you can see, for $515, that's out of a lot of people's reach. It's out of my reach. I really don't have no business spending $500 on 10 wrenches. So it's definitely pricey. Are they nice? Yeah. Do you really need them? I'm gonna say no, but that's an argument for another time. If you do got them, I'm gonna say this. If you do have Snap-on, if you do have Carlisle, if you do have Icon, if you do have Mac Tools, if you do have Maco Tools, if you have Milwaukee, if you have whatever, that's your prerogative. I got no problem with it. You're just gonna pick what feels best for you, what works best for your budget. Now we come to the Icon pricing. The Icon pricing for these set, for the prices that I have right now, are $99.99 for these sets a piece. So we're looking at $200 worth of wrenches. So we got 28 wrenches here for $200. Now when you look at a Snap-on, obviously, as I said, $515 for 10 wrenches. So that's quite a big difference. Now a lot of guys will say, well, what about Blue Point? What about Blue Point? If Harbor Freight's gonna charge that much for wrenches, they're crazy. Okay, let's talk about Blue Point. So here we can see a 12-piece Blue Point set from 8 to 19, and it's coming in at $314. So now we have 12 wrenches for $314. So a lot of guys were saying that because Harbor Freight's charging $99 that they're getting up into Blue Point prices. No, they're not. I could still get both of these sets, $200 for $100 less than the price of one set of Blue Point. So it's not even close to the price of Blue Point. And once again, we're talking about MSRP, no promos. So let's take a look at some Snap-on ratcheting wrench. Now here we have a 10-piece reversible ratcheting Snap-on wrench set for $505. Now granted, this does have the flank drive, and the Harbor Freight doesn't have the teeth on their wrenches when it comes to their ratcheting wrenches. So these maybe offer that extra feature, but the price difference is pretty significant. And you might ask, what about a Blue Point ratcheting wrench set? Well, here we have an 8-piece set for $213. So as you can see, still cheaper than the off-brand on the tool truck, as a lot of people have said that they would just go to Blue Point for the kind of price point that Harbor Freight's going at. And you know, I get it. You want your tool truck, you like your tool truck, and there's nothing wrong with that, man. Now, let me just say, I'm not trying to dog anybody. If you like Snap-on tools, man, there's nothing wrong with it. Snap-on tools are good. But all I'm trying to say is that if a man doesn't want to have to go spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on tools, then he doesn't have to. And I think a lot of times you get good advice from people when you come into a shop. The older guys working out of the little cheap boxes will say, don't waste all your money, you know, spend it on this big box, get you some good quality tools and whatnot. And they're right. I agree with them. But there's also guys that will try to make the guys feel like they're not good enough because they don't have the big Snap-on box, because they don't have a box full of Snap-on Mac tools, whatever. And so they feel pressured into spending their life savings on some tools when you don't have to. And people will claim their resale value is so much higher, but it's not higher, man. Your resale value is not higher. Because it's a higher number doesn't mean anything. If you pay $7,000 for a toolbox and you can get $2,000, $2,500 back out of that toolbox, then you've lost a lot of money. Is it more than you can get out of a U.S. General box? Yeah, but guess what? That U.S. General box was $650. So the resale value is not higher. And the same thing on tools. Look on eBay. Look on Craigslist. Look everywhere at Snap-on used tools. And I guarantee you, you're going to find out that these Snap-on tools sell for half to less than half of what you end up paying for them. And granted, there is the convenience of getting tools on payments. And you know, I fell in that trap. A lot of people fell in that trap. And every week you're making a payment, you're making a payment, you're making a payment. You get it close to getting paid off. Now you go buy 20 wrenches and now you're back up to 1,000. So, I mean, it's hard to get out of. It really is, because you never have enough tools. You never have all the tools you need. You know, you want to get your basic core set, obviously, but then you start getting the specialty tools and everything else, and it's a never-ending cycle. It's a never-ending cycle of buying more, a never-ending cycle of upgrading. It's just never-ending. So all I'm trying to do here is trying to find a viable option for young guys, for guys going into the trade, for guys that are just wanting some good quality tools that don't want to spend $1,000 on 20 wrenches, because there's nothing wrong with not wanting to spend $1,000 on 20 wrenches, man. If I can buy 28 wrenches for $200 that are even close to the same quality as the Snap-on tools, then I'm gonna spend the $200, man. I don't know about you guys, and as I said, I'm not dogging Snap-on, I'm not dogging you, I'm not dogging tools made in the US, I'm not dogging anything. I'm trying to give somebody a good option to save money, to invest that into their future, to invest it into their kids' future, to invest it into themselves, not into the Snap-on man and his future. Because you know, if you look at any Snap-on man, yeah, he's invested a lot of money, yeah, he's in debt, yeah, a lot of them don't make it, but the successful Snap-on guys, they're doing pretty good. I know all my tool truck drivers, they're doing a lot better than I am. A lot better than I am, I guarantee that. So when we look at the big fuss about, okay, them ratcheting wrenches are $150, I think that was a sticker shock for a lot of people. It's $150. That is pretty expensive, don't get me wrong. $150 is a lot. If it's a quality tool, then it is worth it. Now there are other options if you don't want to spend $150 on ratcheting wrenches. If you don't like the Icon brand, if you don't want to spend money on the Icon brand, there are other options you could go to. I'm right now just looking at the Icon brand. Okay, as you see, you know, the wrenches, the difference in prices of those wrenches were pretty significant. But I think the big topic of the day, I released a video early this morning. I'm going to link that up top too. There's going to be a whole Icon playlist and some other videos linked up top too in the description cards. You can click on after this video or during this video, but come back to this video because I want to talk about the pricing of these toolboxes. And there's a lot of people, I mean, majority of people are pretty upset about these prices. And you know, and I'm not going to lie, they are pretty high. And with that being said, there still may be some promos. I don't know how much, coupons, promos, or whatever. I don't know how much they're gonna knock off, but you know, a 56-inch box for $4,000, that is, you know, a sticker shock for a lot of people. And I don't blame you, because that's a pretty expensive box. And as people say, you know, I was comparing the Master Series. I wasn't comparing it. Harbor Freight was comparing it. People attacking me personally, like I chose the Master Series to compare that to. I was just showing you what Harbor Freight had on the website. That's all I was showing you. But that Master Series online, I think $67.45 or something like that. Now, a lot of people are saying that that box, you know, they'll get on promo or whatever. And, you know, they will get it on promo and they will pay cheaper for it. But as I said, we don't know about the Icon promos. But there was a couple good points made. And I think one of the big points made is that the tool trucks allow you to trade in boxes and trade in tools. So that's a pretty big deal if you've already bought a box. I mean, they'll even take a US General box, you know, on trade-in. They don't care. And they'll put it towards your new toolbox purchase. So at the end of the day, when you was buying that $6,700 toolbox, if you could catch it, you know, scratch and dent or on promo, and then you had a trade-in, you probably would end up down to paying about $3,500, $4,000, $3,000. Somewhere around that area, depending on the box you was trading in, obviously. So that is cheaper than the Harbor Freight Icon toolbox. And as I said, yeah, that is cheaper than the standard retail price, but we're throwing in all kinds of factors to get it cheaper. But with that being said, Harbor Freight, in my opinion, man, they're gonna have to come up with some type of way to make these boxes cheaper than what they are. I don't even know the quality of these boxes. These may be better than Snap-on. I'm hoping I get to check one out. I want to check one out. And when I do check one out, it's going to be, I'm going to make sure that I am as thorough as possible. I'm going to make sure that I make a great review video, because I'm not going to, you know, tell anybody that, hey, this $4,000 toolbox is worth it if I don't believe it is worth it. I'm not going to tell you that buying a Snap-on is better than buying that. I'm not going to tell you buying the Icon is better than that right now, because I haven't even seen the toolbox. So I'm just going strictly off prices. And when you factor in the whole price of the whole system, man, you're getting up there. You know, we're up to $9,000, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 in some cases. And that's pretty expensive. A lot of people don't have that kind of money. Now, they are offering the credit card, 0%. And, you know, we talked about that, but we don't know the full details of that. I read the disclaimer earlier saying upon approved credit, and then some people were saying maybe Synchrony Bank was doing it. I don't know who's doing it. If Synchrony Bank's doing it, then you are going to have a credit score probably about 650 to 700 to be able to even get that toolbox on payments. So now you're narrowing it down because like I said, man, a lot of people don't have good credit. So you're narrowing it down to the target audience that you're trying to get. But there's a lot of other factors that can come into play. So I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to jump ship. I don't want to say Icon's a mistake. I don't want to say none of that because I still want to give them a chance because I actually believe in what they're doing. You know, when you can look at the price of them wrenches and the other hand tools and we compare those to the price of the tool trucks, then if they are of even close to the same quality, then I think they're on to something big. I think that they can, you know, really move in. I think that they've done establish their name in this industry. Now, granted, that's also a pretty big problem because a lot of people consider Harbor Freight and cheap synonymous. Now, that's going to be hard to break, in my opinion, for a lot of people. But when I spoke to them yesterday, we talked about, you know, the different things they're trying to do. We talked about how they're trying to get into this market. And as I was telling him, like, you know, I recognize, I could see the big picture. And they're in this, they're not just about to come and bust through the scenes on September 30th and move Snap-on, Mac Tools, Maco Tools. They're not about to move all them guys out of here. Them guys ain't going nowhere. But what they are in for is the long haul. They're looking at the big picture, and I can see the big picture with them. And I think that in the long run, they can shake that reputation and they can get in, and it's going to start with the young guys, and it's going to start in the schools, and it's going to start with the homeowners too, and it starts with people like me, with people like you, with other people, with like people like Justin Dow. That's why they're giving these tools out. They're trying to get the name out there. They know that no professional is going to go out and just take their word for it and say, I'm about to just buy a bunch of Icon tools. They're not going to do it. They need people to see this. They need people to recognize that they're trying. They need people to recognize that they're trying to make good quality tools. And I honestly believe that they are. I've been using the tools they sent me, and so far, so good. You know, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. So far, so good. They seem nice. They're holding up. They work good. They work just as well as any Snap-on or anything. I own Snap-on. I own Matco. I own Mac Tools because I bought them, because I paid thousands upon thousands of dollars. So I know a good quality tool. I've used good quality tools. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think these are good quality tools if I really don't think they are. And I honestly think so far that they're pretty decent, pretty good, and definitely worth the money. Definitely can save you a lot of money. And as I said, all I'm trying to do is trying to give people another option, trying to save people from falling into the trap of spending $20, $30, $40, $50,000 on some tools that you don't got to spend that on. So with that being said, all I'm going to say is just wait and see. I want to see what kind of coupons. I want to see if they have any promos. I want to see the quality of these toolboxes. Heck, I haven't even began to even get into their tool line yet. I've checked out a couple 3/8 ratchets, some wrenches, which like I said, that video is going to be coming out in a couple days, and some sockets. That's all I've even checked out. So they have all kinds of tools coming out that I don't even know nothing about. And as soon as I can get my hands on them, I'm going to put my hands on them, and I'm going to put them to use, and we're going to find out if they're any good or not. But only time will tell at this point. And as I said, they're in this for the long haul. They're not going anywhere. Harbor Freight is here. Harbor Freight is here to stay. Harbor Freight is coming after these tool trucks. As I've been saying, they're trying to get into the professional market. They're trying to change this image that people have of Harbor Freight, cheap, junk, Chinese tools. They're trying to change that, and I think they're on the right path. I think they're doing a great job, and I think they're trying. And I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy that they chose me to, you know, check out some of these tools. I'm happy that I had the chance to share it with you. And I'm excited about where the possibilities are going to lie with this tool brand. With that being said, I'm going to end this. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, leave them down below. And I already know your feelings on these toolboxes, but as I said, man, I'm just the messenger. I don't get nothing for selling you Icon tools. I'm just trying to give these people what they want to see and trying to help you out and trying to make people a little bit better informed than what they are. But don't just take my word for it. Search around, check other people, then make a decision. As I always say, don't never just take one man or woman's word for anything. Trust but verify. Anyway, I'm going to end this. Appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go down below, subscribe, hit the bell, because I got a lot of good videos coming out, a lot of big videos coming out, and you're not going to want to miss it. I guarantee it. Till next time, stay real.